Together for the fourth and final time this year. The Magic have won the 2 of the previous 3 meetings. Starting lineup presented by Steak and Shake for Orlando. Steve Francis and Doug Christie in the backcourt. Christie had 4 steals Thursday against Atlanta. Kelvin Cato, Dwight Howard, and Grant Hill for Orlando. And for Philadelphia, it'll be Allen Iverson and Andre Iguodala in the backcourt, and Samuel Dalembert, who had a huge game against the Magic 3 weeks ago tonight in Orlando, will start at center. Williamson is in the starting lineup along with Korver. Williamson getting the nod over Kenny Thomas tonight, who injured his ankle last night in Toronto and will not play this evening for Philadelphia. So Williamson gets only his 4th start of the year. The opening tip is controlled by Philadelphia, and we're underway on a Saturday night from Philly. Magic start the game with Doug Christie defending Allen Iverson. Francis got a hand on a pass from Iguodala, stolen by Christie. And Steve Francis forces the first turnover of the night.
Right away defensively saw Doug Christie go way underneath that high screen for Allen Iverson. So you pretty much get the idea. The Sixers very much aware they got to keep Allen Iverson out of the lane.
Dwight Howard unable to connect on the jump hook. Francis will get out of traffic and reset the offense for the Magic. The matchup inside Howard, defended by Williamson. Magic went to that matchup on the first possession. Grant Hill fires in the jumper to give Orlando a 2-0 lead.
76ers very much a vulnerable defensive team. They have a couple of principles that they adhere to on a regular basis. They front the post, they trap all pick and rolls, but in doing so they leave a lot of open shooters, consequently give up a lot of good looks at 3-point shots. Speaking of 3-point shooters, Kyle Korver.
Grant Hill had the ball knocked away, and the drive by Hill is goaltended by Dalembert. Andre Iguodala got a hand in the face apparently. He's a little bit rattled. Give the bucket though to the Magic.
That's a very small front line for Philadelphia, with the exception of Samuel Dalembert. Blocks just under 2 shots a game.
Williamson drives to the basket. We're tied at 4.
Tough matchup for Dwight Howard and Williamson, yet throughout Korver's career he has had problems with taller, longer defenders. He tends to not think post up and goes out on the floor where he's less effective.
Rebound off the miss. Iverson racing up the floor. Misses the shot. I think Francis had a handful of jersey as Iverson drove by. Iverson gets the loose ball.
David, you get the feeling he's going at a different speed than everybody else?
Always.
About 180 RPMs. Everybody else is 90. He's a whippet.
Dwight Howard stepped out of bounds.
What a frightening feeling when Iverson is coming at you in the open floor. Even when you make him go to his left, still able to get in the lane and create an easy shot.
He gets the assist that time. Philly leads by 4. Christie off of a Howard screen. Off of Dwight Howard, out of bounds to Philadelphia.
Iverson with the behind the back. At least that time Doug Christie thinking at least take away that right hand. But it is not a one-man job trying to contain Allen Iverson.
3-point attempt by Iverson, rebounded by Francis. Steve goes between his legs at midcourt. And now goes one-on-one against Iverson. Steps through the double team. The shot clock is at 9. The rookie Iguodala defending Grant Hill. And Iguodala deflected the ball to Iverson, and a foul on Francis. Boy, he is just so fast up the floor, faster than anybody in this league. Maybe Earl Boykin, Speedy Claxton, but
well, two crafty veterans here with Steve Francis, all he wanted to do was run in front of Allen just to try to disrupt that shot. We take a look at our Toyota keys to the game. Always a good idea to take care of the ball. The Magic are 28th in the league with 16 turnovers. Again, Philadelphia happens to be #1 in forcing them. And you want to take the ball inside, despite the fact that Dalembert is a shot block threat, but you'd like to get him into foul trouble. And that dominate the boards. That kind of worked the other night against Atlanta when the Magic didn't play a complete 48 minutes of good basketball because they were so tough on the boards. Able to get off to a good start. And of course, we've already mentioned the Dwight Howard 20 rebound game, 11 of them at the offensive end.
Philadelphia has not been a good rebounding team this year. They did out-rebound Toronto in their win last night, 106-91. Grant Hill has all 6 Magic points. Philadelphia leads by 4 with 8:15 to go in the first. Iguodala, tough bounce pass that's picked off Cato. A long pass ahead to Hill. And a nice job by Hill to catch up to the ball and lay it in.
And avoid Allen Iverson, who did exactly what Steve Francis tried to do to him before, just cutting in front of Grant to try to bother him.
Magic looking to push the ball again, but Philadelphia gets back defensively. Howard backing in on Williamson, and it is out of bounds.
How about that stat last night for Philadelphia against Toronto? Officially in the stat sheet gave up no fast break points. According to Jim O'Brien, who keeps a stat on everything. According to their stats, did give up 6 fast break points.
Williamson turned his head, and that'll be goaltending, I guess, on Philadelphia.
Yeah, Dalembert looking quizzically. I don't think Corliss Williamson can jump that high to goaltend.
Huh. It looked like it went over the rim, didn't it? The shot, but they
maybe somebody hit the rim
to Dwight. Must have been something like that,
or grab the net, or one of those many different things you can do.
Korver's 3 is no good. He's a 3-point gunner. Game tied at 10. Grant Hill, who has 8 of the 10, the All-Star. Looked like he got hacked on the arm, but must have been all ball from Kyle Korver. Iverson pushing the action once again and scores.
Difficult shot that time by Allen on the move. He makes that move going to his left so well. That little in-between shot, that little 7-8 footer, so difficult. And Allen takes so many of them that he's got to be extremely confident with all shots.
Allen Iverson played 42 minutes last night. This will be an offensive foul on Hill. That's Grant's first personal. It goes as a turnover as well. The 3rd of the first period for the Magic, who trail by 2. Orlando with a win in Orlando on January the 22nd against the Sixers. Iguodala catching it in close. Cato with the smart foul. And Andre Iguodala, the rookie out of Arizona, will go to the free throw line.
Well, the 76ers consider Iguodala their best perimeter defender. That's saying something for a guy that only played 2 years of college basketball. They're trying to get him to be more aggressive offensively. That's the always ongoing search to find scoring help for Allen Iverson. Doesn't seem to be anybody that has ever felt comfortable in that role. I thought Keith Van Horn was doing a decent job of it, getting about 17 a game along with Iverson. That's about as good as you can do. Way back when Allen was a rookie, Jerry Stackhouse averaged 20 a game, but that didn't work at all.
No, bad basketball team back then. They were both very young, however. Iverson under the rim and reverses it in. 8 points for Iverson. He's got 8 of Philly's 15. The Sixers lead is 3. Make it 1. As Steve Francis buries his first jumper of the night.
Well, Allen Iverson is making it look way too easy with his ability to get into the lane. The big guys have to be looking to help out. You don't want to help out so much that you're going to give Dalembert or Corliss Williamson an easy lay-in, but you've got to be looking to help your teammates right now while Iverson is being so aggressive looking for a shot.
This foul is on Dwight Howard. Dwight's first. It'll put Corliss Williamson on the free throw line. Williamson has had a terrific basketball career. Not very many players that can claim they've won an NBA championship and a college championship. Corliss Williamson has done that with Detroit and with Arkansas back in the early 90s.
1994 to be exact. 10 years in the league for Corliss Williamson. Just came in as the big nasty out of Arkansas as a smallish type of big forward who has a very effective low post game. Wow.
Iverson getting to the basket again, but missed that time. Beautiful crossover by Francis, and the hop step gets him open.
And the crowd behind us oohing and eyeing with that move by Steve Francis. I don't know if in admiration or they thought he walked on the play.
A little of both, I think.
I think he did both.
Oh. Dalembert stepping outside with the jump shot. You don't see that very often from young big man. And another offensive foul against Orlando. This one on Steve Francis. And that is his second personal. So Steve is likely to take a seat on the Magic bench. Philly leads by 2. We're back in Philadelphia where the Sixers lead the Magic by 2 with 5:26 to play in the first period. Steve Francis just picked up his second personal foul. And he'll be coming out of the game. Tonight's Taco Bell outside the bun. The Magic have only won in visiting cities with a winning record, only 4 different cities. Of course, one of them is Philadelphia, a 17-15 record. And if we could just get a few more games scheduled in Tokyo, then who knows how strong this team could be. That was back in, what, 96, 97, I think, early in the season, a pair of games against New Jersey.
Did you make that trip?
I did.
Have you recovered?
Barely. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was very interesting. Tokyo Dome, packed back-to-back nights. Iverson now defended by Jameer Nelson. Williamson driving on Howard, missed the shot. Dwight Howard with the rebound. Nelson in the game for the foul play. Steve Francis. Jameer, a local hero here. Everybody talking about Jameer Nelson. Great college star in St. Joe's. And he gets the assist to Doug Christie, and Orlando ties the game at 18.
Well, last time we saw Philadelphia a few weeks ago, Jameer had himself an outstanding game. And forget about the 12 points. That was much needed, but 7 steals in that game. He really set a tone defensively.
Korver with that quick trip. And the ball tipped around, and the Sixers come up with the loose ball. Iverson for 2. 10 points for Allen Iverson, half of Philadelphia's first period total. Dalembert rebounds. Christie almost had the steal. Iverson drops it off to Williamson. So far, Allen Iverson is just totally destructive against the Magic defense.
Well, you know, when you think points in the paint, you think low post game, you think second shots, stickbacks, but points in the paint, and Philadelphia has just killed Orlando in that phase of the game, but it's mainly because of Iverson's penetration. Whether he's scoring himself, whether he's dishing off, or even if he's missing a shot in there, it turns into a good offensive rebound for especially a guy like Dalembert.
And meanwhile, Grant Hill continues to put up some big numbers in the first quarter. 12 points for Grant Hill. A 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Also in the game for Philly is veteran Aaron McKee. Iverson behind the screen. Dalembert takes the rebound away from Cato, and a foul on Kelvin. Cato had the inside position, but somehow Dalembert outfought him for the rebound. And that's personal foul number 2 on Kelvin Cato. Tony Battie will check in along with Hedo Turkoglu, and Dalembert goes to the free throw line.
Dalembert still a raw player, but has such terrific instincts and really plays well with and off Allen Iverson. Kind of follows him around, looks to get those little dishes, get those lobs, and he's been effective on the offensive boards tonight.
That was only the 4th team foul on the Magic, so no free throws coming for Dalembert. Iverson once again right in the middle of the Magic defense, but Tony Battie got a piece of the shot.
Iverson just stops. Felt he got grabbed on the play, didn't get the whistle. All kinds of frustration on the part of Iverson.
Christie's shot is way off target. Iverson spending a lot of time in the paint, and the foul. This one on Tony Batiste. And the Magic with timeout and 2:59 to play in the period.
Doug Christie walking off for this timeout and blessing himself. He's going to need a little bit more help than that from his teammates. It's going to take a whole gang to stop Allen.
Sixers lead the Magic by 4 just before the start of tonight's game. Our national anthem singer was of special interest to the Magic, especially for assistant coach Paul Westhead.
Once again, Danielle Westhead.
That was before the game. 15-year-old Danielle Westhead, proud Uncle Paul with the flowers and the kiss on the cheek. A beautiful young lady and a proud uncle right there, Paul Westhead. He watched young Danielle perform the national anthem. Very talented young girl, local high school 9th grader. And I understand this was probably her biggest moment in entertainment. She's done some local theater. Big crowd watching her tonight. They seem to really enjoy it. Jameer Nelson's first jumper of the game is no good, and a rebound to Aaron McKee. The 76ers with a 5-point lead. Allen Iverson already with 13 points for Philadelphia. Leading scorer in the NBA at 29 per game. But this time an offensive foul on Dalembert as he cleared out a spot for Iverson to continue moving toward the basket.
Well, it's the Magic philosophy to send everything to the middle, and in many cases that's been effective for them. But with a guy like Iverson, and the last time we saw this team a few weeks ago, a couple times by accident, they forced him to do that, go down to the left baseline and make him take a tough shot.
And shot by Hedo Turkoglu gets Orlando back to within 3.
Now, first time the Magic have shown zone defense. And the guy that you have to worry about here is Kyle Korver.
There he is, Korver. Inside to Mark Jackson. Korver has time to take a dribble and look down at his feet. Dalembert had the rebound. Looked like he might have taken a couple of steps. And that's off of the Magic. Dwight Howard got a hand on that as Nelson was trying to throw it off of Dalembert, and then Dwight got a piece of it.
Yeah, Kyle Korver getting loose for that corner jump shot. Maybe he had too much time to line that one up as Tony Batiste tried to help out in the lane.
Deshaun Stevenson in for the Magic as well. Korver gets into the Magic defense and puts it in. Long pass to Howard. He saves it back out to Turkoglu with 1.5 to go in the period. Deshaun Stevenson almost slips. Somehow stayed on his feet. The ball's out of bounds. Howard touched it last. '76ers with a record of 24-26. And going into tonight's NBA games, number 8 in the Eastern Conference. Magic number 6 in the East, and just a game and a half, or 2.5 rather, ahead of Philadelphia. And there's a foul on Turkoglu. The Magic only 3 games ahead of 9th place Indiana.
Well, David, there's that type of play I'm talking about with Dalembert just making himself available as Tony Batiste came over to help out. Job by Hedo Turkoglu to get down there and force a poor free throw shooter Dalembert try to earn them from the free throw line.
Dalembert 63% for the year. Pat Garrity in for the first time tonight for Howard.
You know, David, a lot of people around basketball disrespecting the Atlantic Division as of today. They've got 2 teams that are in playoff contention, and when you look at Philadelphia's schedule, they have played 6 less home games than they have played on the road, and Boston has played 1 more home game than they have on the road. So you would have to give the advantage to Philadelphia right now for even winning the Atlantic Division.
That's a good point. Philadelphia and Boston right now are 7 and 8 in the Eastern Conference, 7th and 8th best records. And Philly with Jim O'Brien at the helm, they've only played 22 home games and 28 on the road. So obviously their schedule is going to lighten up a little bit at some point.
And Chicago, who has played very well for the last 6-7 weeks, they're at 500, and they have a very difficult schedule come March and April.
Mark Jackson was double teamed. Iverson covered by Nelson. Iverson behind the screen fires in another jumper. He has 15 in the period, and the 76ers lead is 7. Tony Battie. And the Sixers will play for the final shot of the quarter. Iverson played 42 minutes in the game last night in Toronto. He has been a whirling dervish in the first 12 minutes tonight. Nelson turned his head just long enough. Doesn't take much for Iverson to scoot past him, and another foul on the Magic. This one on Battie, his second. And Allen Iverson goes back to the line.
Now, David, Allen Iverson is certainly quick enough, talented enough to handle the ball and get the lane. But now if you're going to let him carry the ball like that, that is really putting the defense at a disadvantage. I mean, that's unbelievable. He carried the ball about 5 times on that possession.
But in his defense, he's not the only guy in the league.
No, he's only one of about 350. But you've got no chance. Even if you could put hands on this guy, it would be very, very difficult. But when you can't guy to guy or get a hand out on him, and then a guy can get that little hop step with the carry, all you can do is back off, sag, and make him take jump shots.
He's done a little bit of everything, even a steal here at the end of the quarter. And that shot was online, but too strong. So that is how the first period will come to an end, with Allen Iverson leading the way. And the Sixers shooting 11 free throws to no free throws for the Magic in the first 12 minutes. Iverson with 17 points in the quarter. And the 76ers lead the Magic 31-22. Wednesday night, the Sports Talk Live crew goes to Daytona to discuss the latest in motorsports. Did the NASCAR point system work last year? Who's the favorite for this year? Find out when host Whit Watson welcomes Mike Bianchi, David Lamb.